Hi all, I'm starting now, so I'm sharing my screen.
Okay.
Can anyone confirm? Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah. So, are you able to see my screen ID?
Yeah.
Okay. So, last class we discussed regarding this abstract and interface. So, we clear about this what is abstract definition, then what is interface, and then after that we went for the sum of the package of interface. So this interface 1 and 2 we completed. So how we are declaring interface, how we are extending multiple inheritance interface and abstracts and all. So others 3 is remaining, interface 3, 4, 5 package. So this we will discuss. Before that I think some of the people has not yet joined. So once he will join, then we will go for the real-time programming, like where we are using all the concept whatever till now we discuss. We will show you like why we are using the abstract interface and all. So this is the example of department management, so employee management system where we are managing employee record. So based on the departments and all, we are creating a full stack project. So this full stack project based on React, Spring Boot, Java and database. So here we will see all this concept till now whatever we discuss from this section 1 to interface abstract and all. So from this section 1 to these all. So once all peoples will join, we will discuss. We will wait for some time, but here we will continue this interface 3.
Mm-hmm.
So the interface 3 this is a package of section 3, interface 3. So here we have, just a minute. So here we need to declare package first. So this is a package we declared. After that what is there, first we have abstract class. So abstract class has a keyword as mentioned abstract, so means this is a class A is a abstract type. So inside the abstract class will have a abstract method or concrete method. So abstract method, this is abstract method because there is no method body is there or any definitions is there. So this is the abstract method. So inside abstract class at least one abstract method or concrete method will be there. So this is valid. Now we have other abstract class, class B, which is extending class A. Yeah.
Concrete method does not have body, right? So how we know that this is concrete or this is abstract method?
No,
Or they
abstract
can both
method.
be okay.
Yes, yes. So abstract method will have a abstract keyword
Mm-hmm.
and there is no body is there, like only semicolon will be there. After the method will be semicolon. There is no open braces, closed braces will be there, and inside some SOP or something business logic is not there, means no implementation has provided. So this is
Mm-hmm.
a abstract method, means there is no method body is available. And concrete method, this is concrete method because abstract keyword is not there, and this method test1 method having some open braces, closed braces, inside something will be there. So
Okay.
this is concrete method. So this means method body is available here. If you want, you can do some implementation inside this open braces, closed braces. Inside that you can make it SOP, you can make it some business logic based on the requirement.
Okay.
So this is concrete method and this is abstract method. Why? Because abstract keyword has mentioned. Once abstract keyword has mentioned means there is no method body, only semicolon is there after the method. But in this case, after the method we have open braces, closed braces. Inside you can make a implementations whatever you want, either SOP or some business logic and all. So the first class A have abstract method and class B extending A, and inside that concrete method is there. So now class B have one abstract method and one concrete method. So both are test one type, but this is default one. This is default test one and this is a parameterized test one. So what type of parameterized will be available here? Boolean type, means either true or false will be applicable. So I will be either true or false for this
Mm-hmm.
test. So just we declare how we can call one abstract to other abstract and how we will inherit the property from abstract or concrete and all. Now here,
And you put the extend v, so that means that class will be up.
sorry, which one?
Go back,
Hmm.
the extend a.
Mm-hmm.
So why we put the extend a, so we can use this abstract class in
No, extend means we are inherit the property. Suppose if the class B is there, inside I
Mhm.
want class A, all the method body, all the bodies like method, abstract method or concrete method, whatever inside this class A, we want inside the class B. So what will happen? Class B, we are not creating these things, only we are inheriting from the parent class. So class A is a parent class and class B is a child class. So child class will inherit the common property from the parent class. So in that cases, if two classes are there, in between we need to do extends. Extends is a keyword which need to be extend. Once you extend, this will be inherit the property from the parent class. So this is from inheritance concept. If we'll go for this Java inheritance,
So inheritance means we have to just put the keyword extend. That's
yes,
it in
we have to
inheritance.
put the
Okay.
keyword instance, extend, and whatever the
Mhm.
common property we are not writing in the child class, we are taking from
Mhm.
the parent class. Means code reusability will be removed. Like similar type code we are not using again. That same we can use from the parent class. So see, this is the inheritance in Java. So inheritance in Java is a mechanism which is one subject acquire all the property and behavior from the parent class. If already parent class is there, it is important part of OOPS concept. So this inheritance represent is a relationship from the parent to child, means A class or B class is there. So B class is the child class, A class is the parent class. From top class is parent and down class is a child class.
Okay.
So why we are using this? To achieve this method overriding, we will see method overriding and code reusability. Like code reusability, how will happen? So suppose we have already declared here some of the abstract method. So in
Mhm.
class B also I need a abstract method. So this code reusability will happen because parent class already declared. So no need to create again the abstract class here in this class B. Directly we can extend from here. So this code will come here also without any creating and all. Internally compiler will. So because we have made extend, so whatever method and declaration inside the class A, all those things will be inherited internally here.
Okay.
So in real world, like suppose we have a banking, right? So in banking we have a multiple account is there, like demat account, saving account, term account, and others account like loan accounts and all. So all the account have a similar functionality like account number, account name, and then account details and all, many things common like bank name. So suppose if you have bank name is same, branch details, IFSC codes and all. So what all are the similar or similar variables will be there or similar method we have to declare in this parent class, and all the child class like saving account, term account, demat account, loan account, no need to create the same variable or same method inside that. Only they will inherit, just they will have to extend that and mention the parent class here and inherit internally.
Mhm.
So here this class A is completed
So
and
this
this.
is overwriting concept also there, right?
Yes,
Overwriting
yes,
also.
yes. Overriding also will happen. Inheritance means overriding. See this is for
Okay.
overriding and reusability. Code reusability will happen. If overriding is happening means runtime polymorphism also will happen. So this all topic will come in this next one after inheritance and
Mhm.
all. So we will discuss later. But overriding will achieve, reusability will achieve, polymorphism also will be achieved. Or we can say dynamic binding and all. So here the next program is class D. So class D we created a package, and we have this have interface. This is an interface. We will show you like why we are creating interface and all. Give me after this package completions, we will show you the all the real examples for all these things,
Mm-hmm.
all the topic after this package completion. So this is
Mm-hmm.
an interface. So interface have one method, that is test one. So suppose if you are not providing abstract here, so by default interface will provide public abstract, because in interface definitions all the methods should be abstract only. So if you are not providing, compiler will automatically add this public abstract here, void test one. So if abstract means there is a no method body will be there, that is called abstract, means this is abstract method. And this is a class D. So class D having error, why? Because of class D implements class C. So class C having interface, we have implement. So if we have a class and interface, in that cases we have a implements, and if you have a class, then we have a extend. If you have a interface and interface inheritance, in that cases we will have a extend also, means similar type will have extend and different type will have a implement. So class D implement class C. So class D is a simple class, like default class is there. This is default class. This class having
Implement the implement keywords for what? Like it's not
implement and
inheritance, right?
extend both are same thing, like which is used to inherit the property from the parent to child.
Okay.
But if implement will happen, like suppose if your class is suppose if you have this C is a interface type. This is not a class, this is an interface.
Mm-hmm.
So if class and interface, if you want to use a inheritance concept, then in that cases we have to use implement.
Okay, if it is class, then we have to use extend. If it is
Yeah, if
interface,
it
then
is
we have to.
class, then we have to extend. If it is
Okay.
interface, we have to go for the extend. And if it is class and interface, then we will go for the implement.
Okay.
Class and interface, similar different things will have implements, similar things will have a extend.
Okay. Got it.
So in class interface C having abstract method, and class D having a non-abstract method. So this is also fine, not an issue. Abstract and non-abstract method. This is parameterized, and this is non-parameterized.
Yeah.
If you'll go for this one, like just we are just a minute. So here we have a package declared, and then we have a interface E. So this interface having one abstract method which have two parameter. One is integer type of I, another is integer type of j. Means two parameters, and both should have a integer type. Means some numeric value will be there. And this is by default public abstract. Means this is abstract method, and this don't have any method body. Means abstract method is there. Others is a abstract class. So this is class which need to be implement. If you want to inherit the property, if you want to inherit this method from this interface E, then you have to do the implement in this class F. Then you will inherit this abstract.
Mm-hmm.
Because why we are inheriting? Because this is a abstract method. So abstract method should be have implementation. So this method which will be implement in the class. So we implements here, implements keywords, and then class interface C, and this is a test method. So this test method implementation we provided here. So what we provided here, we have integer type and double type. So doubles also will have a form in type, like
Number.
in
Mm-hmm.
numeric is there. So this is a from double to int is going from this lower to higher. Means byte short, int long, double is there, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we have a casting topic will be there. So section 7 we will go for the casting. Why this is valid? Because here we are passing the parameter is a integer, but in this implementation of this test one, we have integer and double. Why? Because of double is valid, because integer double is greater than integer. So if greater than integer means this casting will valid.
Hmm.
So
So
we
we
will
can use the test one, two time. This is void test one and void test one
yeah,
in
if you
different class, right?
test one two times you can use where.
Yeah, test one we can use two time.
No, this is the just a abstract class. So there is a no method body is there. So for
Oh.
method body we are implementing here the same test class, we are providing
Mm-hmm.
some method body. So directly we can't provide in interface. Interface definition is only abstract method will be available. Why? We will see this real time example. So method body is available for this implementations we extended, means we implemented this interface E inside this class F, and we provided the implementation for this test method only,
Mm-hmm.
for test
Okay.
method. So this is integer type, but this implementation we provide integer and double. So this is also valid. Why? Because integer is required but we provided double, means this is casting is happening from uh, this typecasting from lower to higher we can say. So this casting is applicable. If higher to lower, then that will not be applicable, we'll have a compile time error. We will see in this section 7. And here we have some error. Why? Because of in class C interface C have a this test one method, interface class D also have a test one method. So this test method is a abstract method. For that we need to provide the implementation in the class D. Why? Because we are implementing inheritance interface C. So while implementing in that cases we need to provide the implementation for this, means method body we have to provide. So public void test is fine, test one, but this is argument type, means integer one, integer I is there, but here we are providing default type. So compiler will
Mm-hmm.
give some error. We don't have any implementation for this void test one here inside this
If we put the
class.
number in 10, then the this will go, right? Error will go.
Yeah. So if you have say see here integer I is there, in that cases
Mm-hmm.
if you will provide here integer I also, then it will be fine, not an issue.
Mm.
See this,
Yeah.
because we are providing this test cases, this test one implementation here inside the class D, but this is mismatch. This is passing integer I, and here we have some nothing is there. This is default argument. So compiler will show error. Type, the type D must implement the inherit abstract method C test one in type. Directly they have shown this message. Understand? Are you able to understand this one?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, D must have implement this inheritance abstract method. So C dot test one should have an integer type, but here C dot test one have an integer type, but this is a default type. This there is no integer or anything is there. This is default method is there. So that's why. So we completed this one, and now we will go for this one. So this is a abstract class. So this abstract class have two abstract method. One is test one, other is test. This also is test one, and this others is a non-abstract. This also have test one. Fine. First test one have no argument, means there is no argument inside that. Second test one have one argument which is integer type, and other is a concrete method, means concrete method which have test one and they have two argument. So in abstract class we can make it as a abstract method and concrete method. So concrete method will have a method body and abstract method should not have any method body. So this is valid, not an issue. We can use same name of method also, but parameters should be different. So overloading overriding will happen. Same name, same parameters, same name different parameters will have a overloading, same name same parameters will have overridings will happen from this one class to other class, overloading will happen in the similar class. So here overloading concept is happening, same method name is there but different parameters is there, one is no argument, other is single argument, another is double argument, but all are method one, same method, test1 test1 test1. So this also we will see in this maybe after this topic,
Mhm.
what is overloading, overriding, and then typecasting and all. So this is also, this declaration is also valid because in single class we can use similar type of method but arguments should be different. Even in other class like one class to another class we can use similar type of method, there also arguments should be same or different, but that will be the concept of overriding, we will see when we are using and why. This is class H. So in this class H have in package, and then inside that what we have, all are the test1 method, test1 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 test1, see here. So in interface also we can add similar type of method, many same type of method we can use multiple time. But if you have not provided anything before this, so by default public abstract will be there because interface only abstract method will be there. So all are abstract method, one is void type, other is void type, and others is boolean type. Again we have void type, this is a integer type. So this is the return, what type of returns, one is void, return, boolean and all. But here parameters for test1 parameters is default, again test1 parameter is single integer type, again we have a test1 parameter is double I type, and again we have a test1 parameter is double T type. So this is different, I type, T type, double, and then test1 we have a character type. So all parameters has different, so no issues, we can add a duplicate method inside this interface abstract, but argument should be different. Now we have a class I, this is a default class, if you have not provided any modifier here, so by default class as a default. So some class will have a public, private, and default also, protected also, depends on the requirement. But this if you have not provided, so this is default, not a abstract. If you will provide a abstract keyword, means class behave like a abstract, but this is default class. Inside default class we have a test1 and test1. So this is default class, and where default class we are providing the same type of method, so duplicate can't be allowed in this similar default class, or general class we cannot use a similar type of method, only that will be applicable inside that interface and abstract. But if you will use here, so see here, this one duplicate method type int, test1 int type is there. So here also single parameters is there, integer type of x, this is also integer type of y is there. So in that cases duplicate method have a same name, and which will be not allowed because compiler will confuse which method we have to call, either this method or this method, because both having same type of argument is there. If you have a different argument inside that, then it will be valid. See, this is a valid, why, this will be applicable in this class, but similar type of argument if you are using, that won't be allowed. That will be allowed in this two class if you are inherit the property by using extend or implement. In that cases we can use two similar method inside one class to another class, means two class or one class and one interface will be there. But if you have same class and inside that if you have similar type of method, then argument should be different. The same we have abstract class also, interface class also, interface also. So in that cases you will get a compile time error. Why? Because of duplicate method test1 int in type I. So type I is a class where we have a duplicate method int parameters. So this is a class section 6 interface 3. package where we have a abstract class. So this is abstract class where we have abstract method, that is fine. Abstract method which have no implementation. Another is non-abstract method which also have similar type of method name, test one. But see, this is also default method and this also is default method. Either this is integer type, so that's why they return some 10 here, some numeric, but these both method have same name and same parameters are there. So if same name and same parameter won't be allowed in a similar class, that will be allowed in two different class. So this is overriding, which will not happen in the similar class. Overloading is fine, like arguments should be different, then we can use in the same class. But here argument is same because this is also no argument, this is also no argument, means you will get a duplicate error, duplicate method type one in test one in this type J class, so class J. Now this is a default class, so default class K having one test method, so this test method is private type. So accessifier is means like modifier is private type, means this private type will be accessible only in the same class, not in outside of this class. And this is also a static type, means a static, once the classes will load, this method will be loaded, a static method will be loaded. And we have a, there is no return type, so that's why they mention void, and the method name is test. So this method name is test, inside that we have some SOP. Again we have a protected. So what is the use of private method, what is the use of protected method, we will see when to use and all. So protected here integer type, means the parameters return type is integer, means we are returning some 10 here. And this is also test, so same test method is there, and argument is also same, means this is a overload, overriding is happening, so overriding won't be applicable in the similar class. Overriding means inheritance concept, inherit the property, overriding or runtime polymorphism or dynamic binding, which will be not allowed in the similar class. So this won't be allowed, so we have to change the parameters, either we have a default or single parameter, default or double parameter, or single parameter or double parameter in the similar class, similar method, then only it will be applicable. So here also you will get a duplicate error, duplicate method, test method in type K. Type K is a class name.
Protected also same like it used in same class.
No,
Private
protected, private will be accessible in the same class. Default
okay.
will be accessible in anywhere inside the same package. So suppose if this is package of section 6 interface, so anywhere we
Mm-hmm.
can use the default. Private will be accessible only in this class K only, and protected
Mm-hmm.
will be accessible inside this package like section 6 interface 3, and outside of sub package. Outside of apart from this package, we have a some sub package will be there we can access. And public we can access anywhere inside this package, and any of the package inside this anywhere of. So public, private, protected, default is there.
Okay. So protected and public both are like the same, right?
For protected and public,
Yeah, they are using the everywhere
no, public will use everywhere, protected will use inside this package and outside of sub package.
inside the package.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah.
See here, the protected keyword is an access modifier used for attribute, method and constructor. Protected can be used in attribute, protected can be used in method, protected can be used in constructor, making them accessible inside the same package and subclasses. Same package and subclasses. So same package means this one, interface section 6 interface 3, and subclasses. If you have class inside this classes, then we can use
Mhm.
this inside the subclasses. So if you want, you can see here how we are using the protected and all. See this class as a person, right? So one class have
Mm-hmm.
a person, so these all in the same package. So class person all have the attribute is protected here, and inside this we have a student is there. So inside this same we have a student class also, which is extending the person. So in that
Mm-hmm.
cases we can access this all the first name, last name, emails and all. So this student subclass accessible in a person class with protected.
Mm-hmm.
So these all are the modifiers which we are using. So we need to check like where we have to use. Protected won't be applicable for the class level. I thought protected won't be applicable in the class level. Protected only applicable for this attribute, method and constructor. So this is a class, this is a package of this one, and section 6 interface 3, here we have a class. So this is default class. So if you are not providing anything, by default this is a default class. Default class. So default class, and we have a one is non-static method. So this is non-static method inside the class. Other is private non-static method. This is default non-static method, and this is private. If you mention private, this is a private non-static method. But default non-static method is the no argument, means no argument inside that. Private static method have a single argument integer type, and this is a private int method. Sorry, this is a public int test method. This is also one argument which is different, double one. So this is valid. Why? Because in a single class we have three non-static method. One is test1, test1, test1. So other is default test1. Second is test1 as a integer type. Another third is test1 as a double type. So this test1 have a int is a return type. So we need to do return some numeric value. But for this private we don't have any return type, only this is a void type. So means no return type will be there, and this also has a void type, and default method is there, default accessifier is there. So this is applicable in us, and this will achieve a overloading concept. Why? Because similar name of method is there and different type of argument is there, which means overloading will concept. So when to use overloading we will see, and overloading will happen in this single class, similar class, same class. Overriding will happen for this different class, parent to child class. So in overriding we'll have a similar name of method and similar name of parameters also will be there, like test1 is there. So this non-defaults, and then class B also should have a test1 and non-default method, like default method will be there. Suppose if you are passing test1 in A class as a argument, single argument, then B class also will have a single argument, which means override will happen. We will see later. So in this class M we have section 6 interface 3. So this class M have a one is a static method. So this is a static method. This is default static method, we can say. Accessifier or modifier is default. Default static method which have void type, means no return type is there. This is also default static method which have single parameters. This is default parameters, line number 4, and line number 7 is single parameters which have void type, means no return type. This is also default integer type static method test1 which have different parameters, double j, and if integer type then we have to do some return. So return will have a numeric, either anything, so that numeric we have to return. And after that again we have a some public test method. So public test method which have two parameters, one is integer I and other is integer j. So these all are valid. Why? Because of all parameters is a different. One is default, other is integer, other is double, other is two parameters. So this is overloading will happen, or different parameters is there, means is applicable in the same class.
Why we are using the static? I didn't get
Yeah,
that. The
a
static.
static is a keyword which is used when we are using in this a static inside the method or attribute or a static block. Then once the classes will load, compiler will load the main method first class. So once
Hmm.
the classes will be loaded, all the static method will be loaded, all the static block will be loaded, all the static variables will be loaded in that time only. And main method is also static, so static will be loaded on the class level. And static, no need to create a object, directly we can access. Suppose if you are not providing any value for that, by default should be some suppose integer is there, so by default will be 0. If double is there, then by default will be 0.0. If float is there, so by default value will be taken, no need to create a object. But if you have non-static, so directly you can't access this, because in main method you have to create the object of the class, and based on the reference you have to call the method. So suppose this is non-static method, right? So you can't access this method inside this main method, or because main method is static. So main method is static and this is non-static. So first you have to create the object for this class, and based on this reference we can use. But a static, no need to create an object, directly we can access anywhere. We already discussed before also a static keyword in Java. So if you go here, a static keyword in Java, so a static keyword is used for a constant variable or method that is the same of every instance of the class. So a static keyword is a non-access modifier in Java applicable for this flowing. So why we are using a static? So a valid reason for this static method is when we reuse this standard behavior across this instance with the different class level. A static keyword is used in Java, used for the memory management mainly. So we can apply a static keyword with the variable, method, block and nested class. So a static keyword belong the class, then the instance. So mostly a static keyword used for this. If you want, you can go for this definitions. So here mostly a static keyword used once the classes will be loaded, all the static method, variables, blocks will be loaded, and for that no need to create a object, directly we can access. Because main method is static, inside this main method a static will be directly load call. But these all are the non-static, for that we need to create a object. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
and here you can go for this definitions also if you require. So now we'll go for the next one. So this is an abstract class. So this abstract class have n, inside that uh, we have a one is abstract test one, this is default. Other is abstract test one, is this is default, and this is parameterized as an integer parameterized. And other is a static void test one, this is a static type, not a abstract type. This is not a abstract type, means a static type. So this static type is double, and this is also a test one, this is non-static type. So non-static type have two parameters, one is integer I, other is integer j. So abstract method won't have any definitions, abstract method, second abstract method also won't have any definitions or method body. A static method have definitions, non-static method also have definitions, and this is also non-static method, but this is protected type, and these all are default type. So these all are fine because parameters is different. So we have a overloading concept is achieving here, so that is fine, not an issue. See here, class O is there. So class O have a non-static test method. So this is non-static test method is there. Class P is there. Class P extending O. Why? Because of he want this non-static test method to access inside the class P. So if he want, then he have to extend the property from the parent class. Parent class is the O class, so we need to extend that. So whatever the details will be there inside the class, we will extend or inherit here. So right now in class B we have a two test method. One is compiler internally will provide this one non-static test method, default type of this method. Another is non-static test method, already there inside that. This is a argument type, single argument, means that is also applicable, means two test method will have a different argument, means overloading will happen. Then this is class q have a one test method, which is single argument integer type, and class r extending the q, means compiler will take all those things from here, like whatever the details is inserted here, this will be inherit here in the class r. So right now class r internally will have a two test method is there already, and one test method will be inherit from here, means this is integer type, this is double type, and this is a default type, so that is also applicable. So means overloading will happen because this all has inherited here, so this inheritance will happen, and overloading is happening, so no issues for that. After that we will discuss real time concept, whatever till now we covered, just after this two three program. So this is class S. Class S have non-static method, and then class T have extending this S. So this non-static method will be inherited in this class T. So compiler will have a, by default will provide this class T method T, this method T inside this class T, and we created the main method here. So class T. So class T having main method. So see in this case what is there? So compiler has inherit this property from class S2 inside the class T. So class T have internally, compiler has provided this one internally. So you won't be able to see, just internally they provided, we are because of extend. So extend will inherit the property from parent class. So whatever the parent class information will be there, that's we are extending. So internally the compiler has extended void test. So this SOP form S is there inside that T. Now what you have inside this T, we have a main method. So main method, we created the object. Why? Because of this test method is there inside the class T, but this is non-static. So non-static directly we won't be able to access, so we need to create the object. So right now this test method is available inside the class T, or we are creating a we have a main method inside this class T. So we need to call this test method, right? So this test method is non-static, so we have created the object of this class only, class T, T1 equal to new2 T. So this is we created object, and we created object of default parameters. Why? Because of we whatever the class or method we want to use, this is default type, so we created the default parameter object here. Now based on the reference we are calling this test method. So this test method, so once we will call this test method, then this SOP will be printed, and then this SOP will be printed internally. If we have a statics, no need to create object, directly we can access. So this is the difference of static and non-static. So the output will happen form as and done in this case. So this is a package, here we have a non-static method, and this is also extending the U. So right now in B class two static method will be there, one is test1, another is also test1. So this is fine, and yeah, so what is happening here, we have a class U which have a void test non-static test1, with default parameters, and class V also we have a non-static test one which have default parameters, means these all are similar type of parameters are there. So in this case overriding will happen. Why? Because we are inheriting the U. So U, whatever the method is there, that also will be inherit here internally, no externally. Internally compiler will provide this one. So once you extended this one, so similar type of method is there and parameter also is same. In that case what will happen? Overriding concept will happen. So compiler will confuse either which test method we have to call. So for that case what will happen, suppose if you are creating the main method is there, inside that we created an object. Why? Because of v class is there, for that we created object, because all this method is non-static. So directly we can't call a static method, main method, inside this non-static method. So first we have to create the class for the, first we have to create the object for the particular class. So class v equal to new v, this is default method, so we created the object of default here. Now we are using v1.test1. So v1.test1 means this test method will be called from v, because this will be override for from u class to v. Overriding will happen from this, because this is a parent class to child class, so this will be override. So in that cases, if you are extending and similar type of method is there and similar parameters will be there, so both will be inherit here, and the compiler will confuse. In that cases overriding will happen. And if you are using u equal to new u, so this u class is available inside the separate class, inside only single test method is there, so there is no compiler confusions and all will happen. So directly we can use this test method, so form u will be printed. But for these cases a compiler will override automatically internally, because they knows like this test method is coming from u class and this test method is coming from b class, and both are similar type of method, similar type of parameters is there, means overloading is overriding is happening. So once the overriding will happen, means they will override this latest value which will be having from the child, so that will be override, and this will be printed if you have created the v1 equal to new v and v1 dot test one. So in this test
Whenever
one,
over Mhm.
yeah,
Whenever overwriting will come, we have to make the object, right?
no, no, once if once you have a static method is there, non-static method is there, and you are calling inside this static method, so this is a static method, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a static method, so all the main method always should be a static method. So once the classes will be loaded, a static method will be loaded, means main method will be loaded first. Now you have a non-static method is there inside the class, so how you will call this class method? So always all those operations will be operate through the main method. So main method is a static type and you want to call this non-static inside that, so directly you can't do. Why? Because of this is non-static, so non-static can't be accessed inside this static method. So for that you need to create a object of class, and based on the reference you have to call the test method. So what we are doing, we have to create the object of class. So class name is v, so v1 equal to new v. So this is the reference just we created, and based on the reference we are calling this test method. And we created the object of default parameters. Why? Because we need a class to access as a default parameter. There is no parameter, so we created this. And this is test method, this is also default one. So based on that directly we can call this one. If you have a static method, then directly you can access, not an issue. But here this test one and test one, this will be, both will be inherited here, and both are similar type of similar method, and similar argument is there. Argument means this is also default argument, this is also default argument, this is also default argument. So in that cases what will happen, compiler will confuse, because compiler seen extend keyword was there, so whatever the method inside that they extended internally here. So compiler will confuse which test method I have to call. Both are similar parameters, either default. So in that cases compiler know, like once the object has created, because non-static method, so in the main method object has created for that based on the reference. If we are calling test one, so always we will call this latest one, means overriding one, child one, not parent one. So this will be override, and the output will be, in this case, v1 equal to new v, in this case form v, hello world will be there. And for this, suppose if you are doing u equal to new u, in that cases there is no overriding and all, just only one uh, test method is there, so form u and hello world will be printed. Understand?
Yes.
So this is a class W. Class W also have test one, and then class X have extend W. So here by default two test method. One is argument type already there. Another is default type which will be coming from here. Why? Because we are inheriting here by using extend. So there internally two method will be there. One is integer type argument. Another is default type. So directly if you are creating an object of X class, and based on the reference if you are calling test1, so which method will be called? This is default type. This is default type, means this will be called. If you will pass a parameter, then this will be called. So there is no confusion in that. So the output will be form w and hello world. Right now this is class y inside this non-static test method, and class z extend y. This also have non-static test method, but this both have similar type of method and similar type of argument is there, but here we have a void type and this is a integer type. So integer type should have a return statement, and here we will have a errors. Why? Because of compiler will be confused which test method we have to call. So if you will declare the main method and then if you will create an object for this, then this will be override, else we have a compiler issues will be there. Now we will complete this section 3, interface 3. Now we will go for this. Till now what we discuss? First we discuss this one. First we discuss pre-increment, post-increment, decrements and all, loops and all, right? Increment, decrement, first section. Second sections we discussed like a static keyword, right? Statics and all, how we have declared the static keyword in non-static non-static variable, static variables and all in the section second. Third we clear like a non-static instance, static method, non-static methods and all, right? So these all we will show in the real time where we are using. So section 3 and then section 4 what we have declared. Section 4 we went for this object creations and all, object creations, constructors and all, right? So that also we'll see. And then section 5 we went for the packaging, I think, object creations, and then section 6 have interface and all. So mostly we covered increment, decrement, variables, block, method, object creations, package, imports, constructor, and then abstract interface, these all. So see, this is the examples. Are you able to see this screen? Full stack React and Spring Boot project.
Yes.
So see, this is a full stack project which having UI is a React and backend is Java with a Spring Boot, and database is SQL. So here we have created multiple packaging here. So whatever we discuss, like what all are the package, why we are creating section 6 interface and all. So that type of package we declared here, this all. So these all are the package we declared here, like section 5 RST and all. So what is that? Why we are using this type of packaging and all? So mostly we are defining or separating the class or separating the Java. So what all are the Java and which layer Java we have. So some of the input layer Java, some of the business layer Java, some of the exception layer Java, so that we have to define in the different folder structure, so that directly we have to access or understand this functionality. So suppose we have a exception, like some exception, some error will happen. In that cases we have used for the exception. So what we have created a different type of package, means folder structure we created. This is exception related. What all are the exceptions will come or error will come in this project, full stack project. All those Javas will be kept here inside this exception folder. So for this package structures will be there, like a com dot this package, sorry, net dot some java guide dot ems they have mentioned, because that is available inside this. See this is net src dot net dot java guide dot ems dot exception. This is the folder where we have all the exception part of Java. So right now here they used only one exception, Java, so they created here and they mentioned the exception. So mostly we are using the package to define the folder structures, like what all are the class file or Java file from which requirement. So easily we will understand that. So we seen package. Now in DTO, like suppose if you are creating any application, for that applications employee, this is for this employee management system. This application basically employee management system means employee informations will be managed. So we need some input, like what type of information we need to store, employee name, detail, employee salary, employee ID and all. For that we are creating some input and output object, like what is a request we have to take from the UI. So in UI, if you are doing some registration or login, so you have to enter the username, password and login. Click on the login button. So for that is a input is a, like we need to mention in username and password. So these two parameters have an input, and once you hit this login page, then you will get some username details, like all the details like name, father's name, salary details and all, department details and all. So that will be the outputs and all. So for this information, what all are the parameters is required, we are putting in this DTO class. DTO class. DTO. So suppose we are having this employee management system. So employee management system will have an employee DTO and department DTO, because employee will have some information for the department. So this type of folder structures we created, means this package will be inside this net dot java guide dot ems then DTO. So if you'll open this class, inside that employee DTO is there, and package we mention the same, this one. So that's why every time we mention the package just for this folder structures and all. So this means DTO means all the input and output fields will be there, only fields will be there, means parameters, variables and all will be declared here. So
So we have to use always DTO. We cannot use different name.
yeah, you can make it as a different name also, but on most of the project and company they are using DTO and all, so you can use it different name also, not an issue.
So there's any full form for DTO or just DTO?
DTO, this is data transfer object is mentioned, which is used to object that transport the data between subsystems and all. So this is the main thing. If you'll go here, see
So
this
all
one.
project we have to make some one DTO, right?
Yeah, one DTO. Suppose if you have employee department combinations, means we have a two DTO. One is employee related DTO, other is department related DTO. If you have a multiple project, like big project which have a e-commerce based application, inside that we have a store, Inside that we have a checkout system, payment systems, then we have a promo code. Like if you are using Amazon, in that Amazon what is there, I will show you this one, just a minute. Okay, I'll show you that. Suppose if we have a Amazon website, so this is a very big application, right? Amazon. So inside this Amazon we have a, this is, see, this is a checkout cart, this is a cart module, so this is a cart type. So this will have a one DTO, these all have a different DTOs. And after that if you are doing this one, so we'll go for the order management, so order will have a different DTOs. Then once you check out that, then they will calculate the payment, so payment will have a different DTO. So once payment has calculated, then we'll have a some promo code discounts and all, so for that also we'll have a different DTO. So based on the requirement, DTO we will help to create. For this project we have employee management, means employee and department DTO has there. Employee and department management system portal is created. So DTO means data transfer object. So most of they are using DTO. If you want, you can create a different name. No issues for that. But mostly uh, uh, they are using DTO for this data transfer object. So here like UI we are using React. So this project, see here, some HTML and some HTML means some UI page sending the request, means they have entered some of the request, means ID, name or something, like here name and role they send. So once this sent, so this will come in this Java page, right? So Java page will go for this, either this DTO is defined for that, means they have some variable declaration is there. So variable declaration inside this DTO.java. After that we have a some mapper, means DTO file, DTO.java will mapped, and then it will go for this particular user class or role class and all. So that layer we are defining how we will create a project, and what all are the package we have to define, and how this access will happen. So in that cases what will happen, see here, this employee and department management portal is there. So in employee and department manager portal we have, so so this is many things are there, but DTO we created single package, and mappers we created single package, repository we created single package, service we created exception and entity. So why we created and what is the use we will see. So here in DTO, if you go for the employee DTO, so employee DTO will have a class, right? So this is public class, means this is everywhere will be accessible. So that's we have mentioned public class. And the package we have already covered. So this is a package, we defined the folder structure, means all this DTOs will be there in this DTOs folder. And this is a public class, mean anywhere we can access, and this is a class. Inside this class these all are the variables. So variable, these all are private, means in the same class only will be accessible. This private will be accessible, long ID, first name, last name, email and department will be accessible. This variable only accessible inside this class only, not outside the class. If you go for the department DTO, so this DTO is a class, this is the package, and these all are the uh, modifier is there. And this is data type, like what type of integer type, long type, float type and all, so that we can declare. And yeah, so once the UI will send the request, then first they will check based on the request parameter whatever they are sending. For that we have DTO or not, and in that DTO we have same fields available or not. Is available, then this hit will go for the controller class. So this is the main controller class where this hit will be go, and here see, everywhere we are using packaging. So this is a controller folder. We can say controller folder. Inside that all the controllers will be there, like which is request is coming from the React or UI will come from this page only first, and this page based on this requirement or request this will be transferred. So see here, we have a class. Inside this class, public class employee controller, this is a class. So inside that class we have a this method. So we have a multiples method are there, like, so this is a create employee, means create employee means employee records will be created. Just we have mentioned one method, this is create employee, and this is method is public type, right? And this should have a some response entity employee DTO, means this is some return type will be there for that. So what return type? Some employee DTO return type. So this is return. We seen in this method integer return type, float return type, double return type. So like this is a method public type and this is a return type, and this method name is create employee, right? Inside that we have passed some argument. So this is the argument. This is a argument, like what type of argument? Employee DTO they are passing argument. In our uh, real examples we seen some DTO we are passing integer I, integer j, float f, double d, like that. So they are passing some argument, and what they are argumenting, this employee DTO only. So we will see why we are this thing, why we are using this all. But this is the argument. They are passing single argument as a employee DTO. This is the method name, and this is the return type which they want return, and this is a accessifier is a public or modifier is a public, right? While we have mentioned return type, then we have to do some return. So this is employee response entity and this is employee DTO. For that we have created some response entity return type, right, where we are saving the data. So like that we are creating, why we are using methods and all. So in that, see this is a get employee method. So in this get employee method we have a this argument we are passing. Once this request will come in this, we will discuss later once we complete the core Java, and then we will go for this all the endpoints, why we are creating, what all are the annotations and all later. Just we are seeing what are the topics we cover right now. So we created a accessifier, we created a method, we created a return type, we created a argument and all, and then
So or we have to make always the controller also employee controller in
yeah, if you
DTO
are
and
using a Spring Boot application, right now all
mm-hmm.
the Java application based on a Spring Boot only, a Spring Boot microservice pattern. So always you have to write this pattern, DTO controller. So this is the DTO which have a input and output. This is
Okay.
a controller which have whatever the request is coming from UI. First it will go for this Java controller. So Java controller have all the method. Suppose if you are posting from their UI login, so enter the username and password. If you are hitting the login button, means you want to hit this, you want to send this request as a name and password, and you need to check this database either name and password is same in the database. If yes, then you will be able to log in this application, right? So you need to hit this login page, means controller have a login method will be there. So this controller will have a login method, either login controller should be there here. Okay, so inside this login controller will have a one method which have a login method which need to be validate this ID as a name and password is whatever the parameter you passed, and this will go for this which layer, because see in every controller they are going from this some layer after this. So inside this they are going for this service layer. See, this is a method. So for login patterns, if you are entering name and password, the login controller will come as a login method here, and they have to check as a login DTO have ID and password, name and password is coming from the UI. Now we have to validate in the service. So this service is a nothing but service also have a logging check or something will be there as a method which have to check this either this user's login ID and password is correct or not. So where they will correct, this response will go for the service where in that service we'll have some business requirement, either the password should be numeric, non-numeric, alphanumeric or something, some business logic will be there. ID should be unique, not duplicate, based on the created date and like that. So in this service file, so this is a service, employee service is there, right? So in that employee service also should have some method. So they will check as a business requirement is fulfill this requirement or not, to check. If yes, then if you will go for this service layer, in this service layer we'll have a some database call. This service, this is service, right? So in this service, employee service, if you'll go here, not here, this is, I'll show you this one. So employee service will have a implementation. So here they will check either this condition, login condition is fulfilled or not. If fulfilled, then they will go for this database. So this is repository. So this repository they will check either username, the UI, some users has passed user ID as a name and password is some numeric things. So this is correct, available in database. If yes, then they will validate and then they will send the response to the service layer from here, because this service, yeah, this service will go for the repository, they will check the details and it will come here as a response, as a return, and returns will go for the controller again, and controller will pass to the UI. Like that this functionality will work, but right now you won't be able to understand right, this thing. And like this one will happen, and here we'll have some return statement. So this return statement will return this response like this. So right now what we are telling you, this entity, this DTO class has, which have a input and output parameters information will be there. That will be more than of hand 10, 20, 30 and all, based on the project requirement. This is the controller where all the request is coming, and this is the entity which have a database parameters, like database what you are entering and all. So this will be mapped from the DTO and entity and all. Exception, if any errors and all will be there, then exceptions will happen. Repository which have a database layer, which need have a business logic based on the database call. So this repository will be there, and service is the business logic. So all the business logic will be written here. So we discuss abstract class and interface. So most of the time we are using this concept inside this service layer. So why we are using service layer and what is the use? See here, service layer always we are declaring interface. So in this service we have employee service, right? So employee service will have a employee inform service management, and department service will have a departments management. So these two service we created. This is a Java file, and inside this Java we have a interface, employee service interface, right? So this is an interface type we declare, and public, this is a public interface. And interface what we have, only will have a abstract method, right? So see this, these all are abstract method, these all are abstract method. Why? Because interface by default all the method will have a abstract method. So whatever the request is coming from the UI to the controller, controller will go for the service, and service will check either this will like create employee. Create employee means employee creations based on the ID, name, all the informations we are taking, and we are creating the employee record. So while we are creating the employee record, so this is a method. So this method we created, but for that this is abstract type, right? This is abstract type. This is employee DTO means this is some return type. This is return type, either integer we provide before, right? So this is not a void type, some integer DTO, create employee is there, and here we are passing some employee DTO. This is parameter, this is parameters, this is method name, this is some return type. So here they want list of employee DTO return type. So these all are the abstract method. If you are not providing anything, means public abstract by default here will be there, because this is interface. Inside interface all the method will have a abstract class, sorry, abstract method. So in all the method somewhere implementations will be there, right? So how we seen before in interface and abstract in project, we inherit this employee service in somewhere other class, right? In somewhere other class we need to inherit that, and whatever the method we created, for that we need to provide the implementation. So once we inherit this in interface, then we have to go for the implement. Once we have a class, then we have a extend and all, right? So this is a interface, and this all method we need to provide the implementation, then only the operations will perform, right? So how we will provide? So the way of structures like this service, inside this service, this is a service where business logic will be written. So this is employee service.java, where all the interface have written like what type of method we are performing. We are performing create employee. Once the employee record has created, then sometime we need to get the employee. So if UI page will be there, you are creating the employee. After that, what you are taking, you are getting the employee detail based on the ID, based on the salary, based on the department and all. So others method will be the get on the get the employee. Then others we have a get all the employee, like whatever employee has inserted in database, you need all the employee information. Sometime what you need, update the employee, means some of the employee have salary updated, or some date of birth updated or something, so you need to do some update there. Some of the employee has left the organization, in that cases you need to do delete the employee. So this is a CRUD applications which have a insert, update, delete, fetch and all. So these all are the method is there which have interface and abstract method declare, but we need to provide the implementation for these all 1 2 3 4 5 method. So where we have to provide the implementation in IMPL. So in the service file only we created one all the interface for the service, employee service dot java interface, department service dot java, here we have a department interface, right? For that we need to provide the implementation, so we created IMPL means implementation folder. So this is the folder structures where we are packaging the all the implementation of employee class, department class and whatever will be there. So here if you'll go for this, see this is the implementation class packaging. Inside that what we are doing, this is employee class, so employee service IMPL, right? Whatever the service, whatever this uh, interface we mentioned there, employee service, for that we created other class for employee service implementation here. And this implements by using implement keyword, because employee service is an interface and this is a class, so we mention implements here. And after that what we have mentioned here, all the methods like create employee was there, so we have created the public employee DTO was a return type, and this was the method. Inside that we pass the parameters, right? The same I copied from there, and we have provided the implementation means method body I provided, open braces, close braces. Inside this method body we provided, means this business logic we written, like once the request is coming from the UI to create an employee from the controller, then what we are passing, DTO have some input like what type of name, salary, department, ID, something will be there that is coming from the UI, and we are wrapping these details and then it coming here. And after that we are some business operation we are performing. So that's why we are creating a abstract class and interface. So abstract class we don't have any information, right? This is abstract class or interface, we don't have any information, just we are seeing this like, oh this is for create employee, this is for update the employee, this is for delete the employee, but what type of business operation we are performing, that is not available here. Why? Because of security purpose. Whatever we are doing here, because of security purpose, hiding the implementation and showing the functionality. Just we are showing the functionality in ATM. If you are going, just you are clicking, entering the card, inserting some amount details, entering the pin details, and then withdrawal money amount is coming. But internally, what all are the code is happening, what all are the business logic is performing, that you are not seeing. Only you are seeing this method. This method is performing, this method is performing, this method is performing. So for that, you are only seeing this interface class. So this interface class you are seeing, not implementation class, because implementation class will be always hidden and secured. So this way we are categorizing the project. You can make it anywhere, any type, not any issue. But this is a proper way which have to create. We have to create an interface for this requirement, and then implementation should be there in this different class. So already we seen here in this project also, everywhere what we seen in this interface, we created a abstract class, and then other class we extended, and there we have provided the implementation. See what we have mentioned here, class interface e we have created, and interface e have no abstract method, and this abstract method we have provided the implementations here, not this one. Yeah, this one, like this one. So in this case, suppose if you remove this one, these two, so we have a class G, right? Class G implement class D. So class D have a one abstract method, right? So for that abstract method, suppose this is create employee method. So create employee method, one interface I created in separate folder. Means user only knows like this is for the create employee information. After that we have a some implementation class which have a business logic for this create employee. So for this test one, what we have created here, we have provided the implementation where in this class G. So class G need to be implement this class D. Class D we implemented, and then we provided the implementation. Now we can call, either this is non-static, then we have to create the object based on the main method, and then we have to create the object, and based on the reference we will call. So like that we are using here. This is a mostly why we are using interface and abstract, to write a business logic. So business logic will be written here only. Just a minute. So if we'll go for this project, we will share this link. So this link will have all the information, like where we are using interface, we are using abstract class, where we are using public accessifier and package imports, method, how we are creating a method. So if we'll go for the DTO, entity, and service repository and controller layer, so this layer you will get some information. So in this exception we use here, see, super method. So we already discussed like what is the extend, what is inheritance, why we are extending, and what is the use of super. super and this we use. So super mostly we are using while we are creating the exceptions and all, and business logic also we are using. So first you remind your topic whatever we discuss, and here you can see all those things we are using in this project. If you open controller, DTO, entity, exception, repository and service or mappers. So in this service repository also, see we have employee repository. So there we created a interface, and this interface extending some this different interface. So already we seen if interface means we need to do extend. If Java class then we have a extend. If class interface we'll have a implement. So in this interface, employee repository interface does not have any method. Why? Because they extend from this JPA repository. So JPA repository will have some default method which we are calling here internally. So this is entity which is used in the database. So this class name, and if you'll go for the service implementation, this implementation should have a, you can check this site, whatever the topic we discussed till now, you all this concept will be here. If you want to able to find, then we'll discuss tomorrow, or also we will continue tomorrow this part from section 5 and then 4 and 5, these two. Then after
Please
that we
send a
will,
link, Yamalji.
yes, yes, I'm sending a link. So this is just simple project. So if you'll go for the big project, in that most of the topic will be covered. I'm sending here only. In this GitHub, any of the project you can go related for full stack or Java based. Okay, then closing here. I think we extended till
Okay.
9:30. So tomorrow we'll discuss, and if you have any doubt tomorrow, first we will clear that doubt, and then we will continue the topic.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you all. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, thank you.